So you're thinking about flipping a home and you want to know how to look at the deal financially to know you have a winner. I'm going to make it easy for you. In this video, I'm going to take you through just 5 things you need to know about every home that you analyze, or really any property you analyze, to know if you have a go or if you have a dud. So if that's what you're looking for, stick with us. We're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is about investing in San Diego or anything San Diego County related, make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap that bell for notifications. You'll be the first to know of any changing market conditions here in San Diego. My name is Dan Beer, and every single day, people just like you are sending us text messages, phone calls, emails. We're setting up Zoom calls, analyzing and looking at property in San Diego and setting up the right investments. So whether you're doing that in 9 days, 9 months, 9 years, we don't care. We just want to make the process easy for you. So reach out, let us make the whole thing smooth for your investment here in town. All right, so 5 things you need to know if you're flipping a home here in San Diego or really anywhere else. And it could be the same analysis for an apartment building, for a mobile, you name it. This is just the universal 5 things you need to know. And I'm going to take you through them right here. I'll give you some definitions, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an actual example so that we can walk through the math, and you'll see how simple it is. But using this framework, you're going to be able to look at any property and know if it's a go or if it's something that you have to say no to. So the real thing that gets people in trouble when they're flipping houses is they just don't understand how to build in enough margin, how to play it, how to be safe, how to be conservative. And they think that deals that really should not be purchased are good deals, but they're missing something in the steps that I'll illustrate here. So the first thing to look at when you're taking a look at a property is you're not looking at the property for what it is in this moment. You are looking at the property for what it can be. And so ARV is that first thing. Whoops, there you go. It's acting up on me. So ARV is that first thing that you're going to look at. That's after repair value. After repair value. So it's thinking about what will this be worth once we've repaired it from its current condition. And sometimes that's a light repair. Maybe it's just paint, carpet. Maybe sometimes it's not much at all. Maybe sometimes it's just a cleanup of a little deferred maintenance. But of course, sometimes you're gutting kitchens, redoing bathrooms, doing flooring, all of it. So it could be any of that. In any case, you're looking at the ARV. The second thing you're looking at once you have ARV is you have to remember that off of that ARV will come some closing costs. And this is sometimes ignored by investors, and that eats up oftentimes all the profit. So closing costs are going to be commissions, escrow fees, title fees, notary fees, all those things that, including, by the way, transfer taxes, don't forget about them. And depending on what neighborhood you're buying in, you could also be looking at these fees that sometimes are transfer fees within the HOA. So if you're in an HOA, make sure you're taking that into account. And by the way, it's just worth mentioning, not all HOAs have that. In fact, most don't, but plenty do, enough that you want to ask if there is that transfer fee. So you're going to want to look at those closing costs. Of course, you're going to want to make sure that you're thinking about carry costs. Carrying costs would be all of the interest you're going to pay, lender fees and points, doc fees, all those things related to the cost of borrowing. Now, even if you're a cash buyer, the reality is most investors, most flippers end up getting what they call hard money. And these are just loans that are not necessarily issued by a bank, though it can be, but oftentimes from hard money lenders. And the reason why is to get the best deals, sometimes you have to be closing in 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and a traditional bank won't do that. So if, by the way, you want to see a video completely around hard money, understanding it, knowing where to source it, how to get it, how to know if you have the right deal, just let me know in the comments. I'll put that video out. But you're going to want to know your carrying costs. And even if you did borrow from a traditional bank, you're still going to have carrying costs, okay? So you'll factor those in. Of course, you're going to want to factor in the repairs that are actually being done to the property, and then your purchase price. Now, I'm putting purchase price here last, even though, of course, it's one of the first things that happens where you negotiate the price you purchase the property at. But the reason I do it this way is when we go to analyze what the deal will look like, I always start with the end being that ARV, or it's ARV when you're analyzing it, but when you're actually selling the property, it's the sales price. right? Or let me just call that the sold price. So this is the price you're selling at after repairing the property. So again, when you're analyzing the deal, it's the ARV because it's hypothetical or it's theoretical. It's something that you believe will happen. Once you actually sell the property, it's what did happen. But in any case, an analysis, I always start with this and then I work my way down here. So let's just build a very hypothetical situation. Let's imagine that there's a property that you believe, once repaired, is going to be worth $1.1 million. And in its current condition, you've just found the opportunity to purchase this home that could be worth $1.1 million. And of course, you've studied what will a home like this repaired. You've got all the evidence that you believe that will happen, and you're purchasing it today for, say, $800,000. So ARV, if we were to establish that at 1 million, or excuse me, I said 1.1 million. Now we're going to look at the closing costs. The closing costs are going to be commissions, title fees, escrow fees, all those things, transfer fees. It's going to be community enhancement fees. That could be transfer fees within an HOA. All that is going to be factored in right here. And I'm just going to guess at it and I'm going to say 5%, okay? Ballparking, because commissions could be higher or lower. Sometimes on a flip, if it's been brought to you by an agent, they'll sometimes sell it on the down leg, the second leg, for a reduced amount. So I'm just going to say 5%. So 5% of 1.1 million, which is the sold price, $55,000. Okay, so that's $55,000. Of course, that'll be subtracted. So minus 55K. Carrying costs, those are your lender fees. That's interest, those are points up front, those are doc fees, all of those things that take place as related to the loan. So let's imagine that on a property of this price, roughly speaking, if it's 4, 5, 6, I'm going to typically factor in anywhere between $40,000 to $50,000 worth of carrying costs for a property in this price range. So let's just go right in the middle of that and say there's going to be $45,000 between, again, interest points, all of what has to happen, all the carry on the debt that you take to do this deal. Now, repairs. This one I'm just going to make a number up. It was in kind of the same type of shape that we find most properties. Roughly, we're going to just say that you're able to repair this property for $100,000. Okay, so 100K. And then purchase price. This property, as you remember when we were setting up this conversation, was purchased for $800,000. And the way you would analyze the deal would be, okay, if you were to do the deal for $1.1 million minus $55,000 minus $45,000 minus $100,000 minus $800,000 leaves you with $100,000. But I want you to notice something. It's a $100,000 profit. You purchased it for $800,000, sold it for $1.1 million, okay? And this is why flippers get nailed sometimes. Most people would have thought, hey, I'm taking the deal for $900,000, it's worth $1.1 million. Most people underestimate what they're going to do on repairs. They're thinking, oh, I'll repair for $50,000. They find out that it's going to take $100,000. They don't even factor in the carrying costs, or if they do, they completely underestimate what it's going to be because they don't factor in the points up front and all the different things that happen, or they think they're going to be out of the deal in 2 or 3 months, but it takes them 5 or 6. So there's additional months of carry and interest. And so you can see how if we were to not factor in all of that as safely as we did, or if our sales price wasn't exactly what we expected it to be, how easy you could get hammered on it. And so I'm just illustrating the point that when you're looking at a deal, make sure that you are very, very good about this, because at the end of the day, the money is made. It's, even though I wrote it last, the money is genuinely made in real estate, just like you've probably and hopefully heard in the past. It is made on the buy. The moment you buy, you've either made or lost money. So if you're really good about the purchase price, if you are conservative about the ARV, and then realistic about closing costs, carrying costs, and repairs, then you just plug it into this and you're going to be safe. And you'd be amazed, by the way, as a higher profile realtor in San Diego County, how many deals will come to me from others. And they'll say, hey, like, here's a deal for you or for one of your clients. I'll look at it, I'll say, where's the deal? There's no deal here. And then other times, they don't even realize how good a deal it is, and our client leaves ecstatic about it because there's real meat and juice on this thing. So guys, I hope that makes sense. This is the way you look at this. If you want us to analyze any deal for you, if you have a property and you're just not sure, you want second set of eyes, if you want us to look at any property anywhere across Southern California for you, especially in San Diego County and Riverside County, and you want us to take a look at it, plug it in, or even just verify your numbers, just reach out. We'll make the whole thing easy for you. I'm Dan Beer. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Hit the subscribe button, tap that bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next San Diego Neighborhoods video.